Guys, what up? It's Jimmy again with Rhino Tactical. Today we're going to continue on our elements, fundamentals of shooting. Now I realize it might be a little bit boring for you guys, but you have to understand that shooting is 99% mental. So where do you get mental stimulation? In a classroom. It's very, very important that we actually do this stuff to build up the roots of shooting. Shooting is 1% physical, and that leads me into this next introduction. This is the most important part of the entire elements and fundamentals of shooting, and that is trigger control. Without trigger control, it doesn't matter if you have all the rest of the elements, your stance, your grip, your sight alignment, your picture, your breathing, your focus, all that stuff. If you don't have trigger control, shot's not going to get off. So it's very, very important. With that being said, you have to remember that we talked about grip in the past. Now grip affects dexterity, which is exactly related accordingly to trigger control. If you have too tight a grip, you won't have any dexterity and you'll have no trigger control. You're too loose a grip, and what happens is the gun goes all over the place and you won't have trigger control anyway. What you have to do is you have to be dexterous with your fingers. You have just enough tight of a grip where you can have good trigger control, but not loose enough to where you have no recoil control. And one of the ways to do that is just learn to isolate each single finger. Any finger you shoot, just make sure you isolate that finger alone. That finger alone is the one that should be moving, no matter what it is. I can pull the trigger with any finger and nothing else moves, just that one finger. And the way to do that is there's certain exercises where you can use these little grip masters that are available anywhere, and you can just learn to isolate the fingers. Just isolate every single finger. But you need that dexterity in order to have fantastic trigger control. Now the lighter and the more sensitive you are to the trigger, the better your shot is going to be. You need to pay attention with what's going on to your trigger. Okay, so you don't jerk it, you don't pull it, you don't push it, you don't push it down, whatever the cause may be. But use exercises to where you can totally just get the finger that you want to move, nothing else. Okay guys, so use exercisers, and basically trigger control, you do not want the trigger here on the line of the finger. You do not want it on the end because it'll force you to push. On the line, it'll force you to pull. You want it basically right on the pad of the finger where you can just get a good, straight, smooth, consistent press. One of the things that you want to be sure to do in any gun that you have is what's called prepping the trigger. Prepping the trigger involves taking out all the slack, no matter what kind of pistol you have, from your trigger. For example, this Glock, which has a practice barrel on it, you can see has some play in it. Once I get there, that's my prep rig. Once I get there, then all I do is continue to press rearward, straight back with a surprise break. I don't know when it's going to go off. That is known as prepping the trigger. Now I can do it subconsciously, immediately. I don't even have to think about it. But all guns have this, and you want to find the nook and cranny of your trigger to make sure that you can pull it almost at the same time every single time. Now it doesn't matter what gun you have. If I have a 1911 variant, this is a 38 Super, it doesn't matter. You can see there's a little bit of play in the trigger right there. So that's my point where I want to bring it back, and after that a smooth, straight, consistent pull rearward to the rear, and achieving a surprise break. So straight back and wherever it goes off. Once again, there's my slack. I take it up and I pull the trigger. Same thing happens on a say this is a little officer's ACP. The same thing. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a little bit of a prepping phrase there too. Now every single time you have to find that in your gun, whatever gun it may be, prep it back and then just pull the trigger. See how the gun doesn't move when I pull the trigger? Straight back. This is only firing with two fingers. Look. It's a surprise break. I don't know when it's going to go off. I can be pretty sure about somewhere in the area, but I don't know that it's going to go off. So smooth, straight, consistent pull, rearward. That is the secret after you prep the trigger. Straight back, straight back. I don't know when it's going to go off. I'm continuing to put pressure until it finally goes off. Now you can see I'm doing this with two fingers. This is all I basically need to shoot a gun right here. These two fingers. All this other stuff, I can pull the trigger without it. Same thing with this hand. It does not matter. And I can do this with any single finger. You have to learn to basically do it also with right-handed and left-handed. But always be sure to prep your trigger. That's a big secret of it. Once again, once I do go ahead and prep the trigger now, Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to pull straight back, excuse me, to press straight back until I achieve a surprise break. So where it goes up, I don't know. Now I'm pretty sure I can get to know this gun pretty well and know it's all its nooks and crannies, but I still, to the billionth of a second, millisecond we want to call it, I don't know exactly when the trigger's going to go off. But it doesn't matter as long as I keep my sights up and a smooth, straight, consistent press straight back wherever it goes off. I do not care. See that? Does not matter. Same thing. I'm prepping it and then I'm pulling straight press, excuse me, and wherever it goes off, I don't know. And you can get used to doing this, like I said, smooth, straight, consistent press, straight rearward with achieving a surprise break. All right, you guys, straight back, wherever it goes off. All you're going to be doing is just increasing the tension while your proper stance, while your proper grip and everything is in balance. You want to just be increasing the grip, excuse me, with your finger, straight back, consistent press, achieving a surprise break. All in all, to sum up the whole thing, make sure that if you can, exercise your trigger finger by using the grip masters and exercises that I've taught you as far as dexterity. Make sure you have good dexterity in your fingers. Use the pad of your finger, which is up here, not the line or the end of the finger. You want to use the pad of the finger. And also you want to learn all the nooks and crannies of your trigger. Remember, again, prepping it, like I showed you before, prep it and then a smooth, straight, consistent press straight back, like so. Okay guys, that pretty much covers trigger control and all the things that have to do with it. Again, it's all about really knowing your trigger and subconsciously keeping it in one place after the shot and prepping it. That pretty much does it for trigger control. I want to let you guys know that we're going to be having a couple of contests online for all the subscribers and people subscribing. So keep subscribing. I mean, this will be fun for you guys and you'll be able to learn a lot. We're going to have several different Rhino Tactical water bottles. I don't know if you guys can see those. And they're inscribed with our rhinotactical.com. Some say you live on them and different things. But keep subscribing. Thank you very much. Practice trigger control and all the things we talked about. And we'll see you next week.
Come with me. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me.